Good morning, you guys. Yesterday, we spent some time talking about the difference of being led and leading someone in leadership. Today, we're going to spend some time talking about the power of empathy in leadership and how that could transform and drive the success in your organization and with your teams, regardless of what type of organization or business it is. One of the most overlooked components of leadership is empathy. And a lot of the times, the reason that component is overlooked because a lot of leaders assume if I have empathy, that means I'm going to be a weak leader. But contrary to popular belief, empathy is one of the necessary or critical components you need to be effective in your approach as a leader, right? Empathy doesn't state that you're weak. Empathy actually shows that you're strong because now you can relate. And even if you can't, conform to whatever is being asked of you, you can identify with it and relate, but give solutions, right? That are going to support, right, your empathy, right? So today we're going to talk about empathy and the role that it plays in leadership and why you should take different approaches and why it's so important. And I'm going to give you three things, right, in regards to empathy and how it can impact your organization, your church, your business, how it can foster better working relationships and collaborations with your teams, right? If you showed a little more empathy in your role as a leader, right? So here is why incorporating empathy can revolutionize your leadership approach. I'm going to give you three reasons why, right? And I'm training from different platforms. So if you see me looking around, I'm training from different platforms. I have you guys on StreamYard, and then I have some of you guys on LinkedIn. I have you on different platforms. So if I'm looking around, I'm still paying attention to you, but I'm on different platforms this morning, right? So one of the things that you as a leader can help you increase your approach when it comes to empathy. Number one, empathy allows you to build trust and loyalty, right? I want you to understand when you're empathetic as a leader, what this is going to do is foster or create a culture or an environment of trust and loyalty, right? Believe it or not, when people know, or your team know, or your members know, or whatever, whoever's attached to your organization know and feel like you understand them, they feel like, you value them, they feel like they matter, they are more likely to be committed, right? And they're more likely to be engaged, right? To take on whatever your vision is. They're going to automatically want to tap into it and buy into what you're offering and what you're selling, right? And it's going to build trust and loyalty, right? So that's one of the approaches as a leader. Take time to be empathetic so that you can build up trust and loyalty. Doesn't mean, right, that you have to conform of being to everything they request of you, but because they trust that you're going to ultimately make the right decision based on the end result that's going to benefit everybody collectively, then guess what? They're going to stay committed and connected to you. So that's number one. Take time to show more empathy so you can build trust and loyalty among your organization, your team members, your church members, whomever, right? The second thing it's going to do, you should do to be more empathetic as a leader, start working on enhancing or improving your line of communication, right? Communication is more than just speaking. It's also being astute when it comes to your listening skills. Making sure you're asking open-ended questions to make sure that you understand what they are asking of you so that you won't speak out of turn, right? Without actually getting clarity on what they're asking of you. I say all the time, you know, if a person asks me something, let me repeat back to you to make sure I understand what you're saying, or did I hear that properly, right? That's a form of communication, but in order for you to be able to ask those open-ended questions, you got to take time to listen. And when you start enhancing and improving your communication, empathy will improve that, because now you're taking a step back. You're allowing them the floor to speak, right? And when empathy takes place in your communication, it's going to encourage open dialogue. People are going to be wanting to speak. They're not going to be hesitant anymore about speaking about what you're talking about, or giving you feedback, right? On where, or, you know, how you're trying to get there, right? And this is going to lead to better problem solving and collaboration amongst you and the team, right? It's going to lead to better collaboration, and it'll also increase your critical thinking skills. When you start allowing them to be involved and engaged in the conversation, then it increases their critical thinking skills, and it will also increase your critical thinking skills, because now it's not all coming out of your head. You have multiple people that have different ideas and different approaches that may align with where you're headed, right? So that's the second thing. Make sure you take time to enhance your communication. That will show a form of empathy. The third thing, when you're displaying empathy, empathy will help you boost the morale and productivity of your organization, of your team, of the members on your team, right? An empathetic approach can significantly, right? Significantly boost your team's confidence, boost your team's morale, boost the excitement about where you're taking them to, right? They're eager. They're beating you there. They're getting to work early, right? Because they're excited, right? Because you're showing them empathy, right? You're not giving them their way, but you're showing them that you can relate. You do care, but unfortunately, this is where what you can and you can't do. But it's still showing empathy, right? When you as a leader show genuine concern for your team's well-being, listen, when you show genuine concern for your team's well-being, it's going to create a positive work environment. It's going to create a positive culture, and it's going to drive higher production and innovation within your team dynamics, right? They're going to be excited. They trust you now. They know you know how to speak to them appropriately, right? You're not leaving them out. You're involving them in the process. They're taking ownership, right? That's all empathy. And one of the main components that's missing is empathy leaders. Empathy doesn't mean that you are weak. Empathy just shows that you do care, you can relate, but unfortunately, in some circumstances or instances, you can't accommodate. But when they know that you care, you understand, and that you can relate, even if you can't accommodate at that instance, they know that you do care, and they are a part of fixing the problem, or they are a part of, right, helping you achieve the results that are going to be beneficial not only for you, but for them too, right? So I want you guys to think about that as leaders today. Start investing and developing your empathy skills so that you can become a more effective leader. And look, you guys, empathy is a very major component. It doesn't mean you're weak, but everybody that's leading somebody has to have empathy, right? Empathy is a part of service. And if you can't service people with empathy, right, work on improving and enhancing those skills by taking some trainings, right? You do have the ability, right, to change your approach utilizing empathy. Look, you guys, my name is Tonialewis. I'm your mindset and business success coach. Make sure you go and explore some of the resources that we have available, and the link is attached to this session. Look, you guys, that's the end of our session for today. I will talk to you again tomorrow in our next session on leadership. Go out and be an empathetic leader today.